phones off roughly at 8:30
No, 8:55.
when class at Delo Jiu-Jitsu ends. If not,
I'm going to call all three of them and see who answers first. Let's start calling him during class. Thanks. It's good to see you.
Robert started with the ending, but anyways, for the people listening to us, you're here, you have Full Contact Fanatics. Don't forget, you can check us out every Monday from 8 o'clock till about 9:15 or so. Huge weekend of fights, so we got a lot to talk about. Real quick, sitting directamente to my left, the man himself, Dando. Dando, how are you, my friend?
I'm doing wonderful, thank you, sir.
And
it's a pleasure to be here.
Usually we have to fight with him because he's like, oh no, I'll sit over here. He's like, no, you're gonna be on camera today. The man himself, Miguel. And we were talking about that before we went on the air. You know, we talk about the face or whatever of a particular group or whatever, but that's why we put the Lucky Gi and the Conquer Fight gear on Miguel, because, you know, I'm definitely not the one to be in the gi and stuff like that. And the stuff looks pretty good, man. I'm telling you.
Why, thank you, gentlemen.
You have a future. I don't know in exactly what, but you have a future.
Well, hopefully Calvin Klein comes across this podcast
so
and hooks
that,
me up.
I think Bimbo Bread might put you up for a model.
Tres Hermanos or something
Whatever.
like that. We'll hook you up.
Right?
If they got a choni line,
Yeah,
I'll model it.
Chupa Chups, you got a new sucker coming out?
Model the cowboy hats or whatever. But anyways, don't forget, you can always go to onthemat.com, check out all the latest videos and information and stuff on there, and as well as myluckygi.com. We talk a lot, believe me, before we go on the air, we talk a lot about what's going on and stuff like that, and we're steadily working, getting towards a particular place with this group here. Scotty Nelson, who is the proprietor and founder of On The Mat, I talk to him, albeit every once in a while, and he says, look, man, I'm opening hospitals and stuff like that, and once I get all that taken care of, we're going to go to Vegas, we're going to meet, we're going to make sure that we get everything all put together and stuff like that. So it just takes time with him, because being in the MMA business, both of you know, when I was with Tap Out, they were never on time. It was always, it took forever. Or you call and say, okay, we're going to meet this day or whatever. Nobody shows up. Oh, I couldn't make it or whatever. So especially in this business, it takes time to get everything all put together. It's steadily coming. There was a great turnout for the live broadcast that we had over at NutriShop.
Yep.
Unfortunately, we didn't play any Chop Trivia because there was so many people. The interview, it was just like one right after the other. Delo.
We'll get into it.
Yeah, you know what I mean? It just kept going and going. So we didn't have to get a chance to. So what we can do in turn is do a live broadcast. So I'm here to say the next UFC fight night or UFC pay-per-view where we can go somewhere live, we'll definitely do a live broadcast there.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, it's fun, man. It's a party. Break out the Chop Trivia, whatever. People love that stuff. And, we give away some stuff and people, because admittedly, well, I asked Dondo and then I'll ask Miguel, in between fights, you're either going to the bathroom or going to get something to eat, because sometimes, especially if there's quick knockouts, they take forever to get going. So just some stuff that we're talking about before we go. So anyways, we're going to do some news, and then Matt Brown himself is going to call in about 8:15 or so.
The Immortal.
Going to talk to him because, from what I hear, the rumors have been circulating, but we can hear it directly from him himself. Coming out of retirement, supposedly to fight Carlos Condit. I personally think that's going to be a slamming fight. I think Matt Brown's been one of the most underrated fighters. That guy's dangerous. So we'll see what happens. So we'll do a little news, talk to Matt Brown, then we'll go over some of the UFC and some of the Bellator. That was pretty good. I got to admit, it was a pretty good show. So
it was a fun weekend.
First item of business, I read, because I always go through all the news. I go through it every day. Dana White is considering bringing CM Punk back for one more fight.
Oh, God.
So, first of all, we'll go to Miguel. What do you think about that? And second of all, who would he put him to fight? Who wouldn't kill him?
Can we volunteer Jonathan Malice?
Or maybe Rudy Rogers?
You want to know what I think of him coming back?
And is it? Do you feel that, you've paid your dues? I mean, you going to King of the Cage and cutting weight and, you see how it is. Is it that he just gets to step right up? Or do you just think he has no skill and he's just gonna get murdered.
I don't think it's not as so much skill, but yeah, I guess paying your dues.
Yeah.
There's a lot of very talented individuals that
are trying to get in there.
They put their whole life, they dedicate their whole life, everything,
right,
to this, and unfortunately, they just don't make it. And that's life. I understand.
Because if you do that, it's almost like pro wrestling. It's not about the good fighters and trying to get them out there. It's more like who can put butts in the seats.
Exactly.
Yeah. And it's gonna get like that with boxing, like what they did with De La Hoya, kept him winning. So because he used to draw that Chicano crowd or whatever, and the Jainas and stuff like that. What do you think, Dando?
I think it's a business question. When does an up and coming organization get to a stalemate? When do the heroes of yesterday kind of fall to the wayside, and then you've got this whole new group of people? Now Conor McGregor is even off in Wonderland. We don't know if he's coming back. Right. So who is the face of MMA at the moment? And bringing somebody like CM Punk in does put eyes on the show, butts in the seats, pay-per-view people purchasing to see what happens. Yeah. Everybody wants to see the train wreck. That's what that is to me. This is a train wreck in action. Everybody wants to see that. Yes, it'll boost views. Is it necessary? It's absolutely unnecessary, and I don't need to see it.
But it doesn't happen overnight.
It shouldn't, and it is.
Look at which is a good example is Aaron Pico.
Yeah,
that dude's state champion. Dude. His first fight, boom, knocked out. Yeah. But now he had to go back. Went with Antonio McKee, started, and dude, he looked awesome in his last fight, knocking somebody out with a body punch.
That dude is going to pee
So
blood for a week, maybe two.
It takes time and
he was sharp
and paying your dues and stuff like that. So it just you can't just go one fight right in the UFC, second fight back in the UFC. Just
that's right.
People work forever and don't even make it to the UFC.
And I told Aaron Pico, bring home the W for Whittier.
Yeah, that dude just doesn't mess around, man. So anyways, it remains to be seen who they put him up against, or if it does come to fruition at all. So we'll see what happens. But I just want to put that out there. Now, another thing that I heard about, I didn't know that Whitaker, what's his first name, the champion?
Robert
Whitaker, 170.
Yeah. From New Zealand.
He got a bad staph infection. Yeah. And it spread to his intestines or his stomach, or then they say he's in really bad shape.
Did he roll with Adam Woods?
Who knows? Who knows? But anyways, so he's going to be out of the picture for a while. So now is it Yoel Romero and what's his name, Luke Rockhold for that's going to be for the interim belt until Robert Whitaker gets better, correct?
That could be.
So
I don't like all this interim belt talk.
I hate that. Unfortunately for him, he got a staph infection, but it's like, you know what, dude, you got to drop the belt, take your time to get better, and then you can come back. You'll be first in line.
Yeah.
Right? It seems like that would make more sense.
Yeah. If you're not going to be able to compete at that level, then step aside, let other people compete, but then you can go back and try to earn it again.
Right. Is that mic on right there, Robert? Can you give us your thoughts on that Robert Whitaker staph infection, that they should just take the belt off of him, and once he comes back, he could be first in line? And second of all, how do you get staph infection so bad that it spreads to your stomach?
You don't take care of it.
Is that what it is?
If you don't recognize it,
like you don't see it.
I took care of it right away. I got shot in the butt.
Go ahead, Robert.
And some topical cream.
Hold on. He's got to turn his mic on. He's got to plug in real quick. There you go, Mijo. Push the button. There you go.
There you go, Miklo.
I think with Robert Whitaker, he earned his spot.
He sure did.
It wasn't something like where Conor McGregor's just
talked his way in,
and choosing and not choosing. Robert Whitaker's a fighter. He earned his way all the way there, so he has some leeway. It's not like he did this by choice. It's a legitimate health issue. So I give him a pass. I would explain to him. I mean, like they said, weren't Dana White and UFC going to implement a strict rule on exactly how long they can sit out? Wasn't it just 1 year?
Exactly.
Calendar.
That's still a long time, but yeah, I get it.
Yeah, to me it seems like you just was unfortunate, but then when he comes back, he's like first in line or something like that. I think that would be. We'll see what happens with him. That sucks, but unfortunately it happened. Now, did any of you guys say Francisco Rivera got busted for taking steroids, and instead of saying, you know what, I took it, or I didn't know, or whatever, I usually say, well, it was a supplement and I didn't know, or whatever, he ate some tainted meat in TJ. He said he went to TJ to a barbecue, and if they bought it at Costco, he went and had some fake receipt printed out. He said that his aunt and uncle bought it, and it turned out not to even be his aunt and uncle. It was they suspended him for 4 years, dude.
He pulled the
about
he
that?
pulled
Yeah.
the John Arredondo.
Dude, that is.
Because I'm going down swinging. Got a doctor's note from a doctor in Venezuela.
I mean,
And all I gotta say is he's the homie of the homies, so
I love him.
free the homie.
it's a shame, because that dude comes to fight, man. He throws hands and he don't mess around.
I love him.
I want to make shirts that sit with Cisco's face on it says free the homie.
Yeah,
Free the homie.
but wouldn't it make sense to just say, yeah, you know what, I did it, and then I mean, maybe what do you get, a year suspension or so, or what?
You know what? He went down fighting. He was clawing his way back in. He didn't want to sit out. He did what he
As
could.
I always say, even if there's videotape evidence, I'm still denying it.
That's right. Fifth.
That's
Now, just
Who are these women texting? What women? I don't know.
well,
Who says that women?
just between us here, I hear a lot of people that say, well, you know what, most of them are taking some sort of performance enhancing drug. It's just the knuckleheads who get caught or whatever, or abuse
I wouldn't
it
doubt it.
or whatever. So, you know, it to me, it just seems like if you would just admitted it and said, yeah, you would have got off a lot lighter, don't you think?
Like you said too, it would have been easier. Hey, I ate some pizza with some stinky cheese and
Or something, yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
I guess it was in there.
Yeah.
It's kind of like what the cops tell you in a plea bargain, right?
Yeah.
That is
it's
true,
right?
yeah.
That's his plea bargain, but he didn't
Easier
fess
to
up.
do 10 years.
So he stepped up,
In
said, "No,
county.
I didn't do it." And then you end up doing 10 years because the jury's out, and they're like,
Yeah.
"No, you did it."
Yeah.
Throw himself on
It's
the
the
mercy
same
of the court
kind of
or
thing, right?
Yeah.
something
Poor
like
guy.
that.
Now they got his DNA, and they know better.
Unbelievable, man. I mean, I don't know what these dudes are thinking. You know, I know what I put in my body. I mean, granted, it's a lot of tortas and carnitas and stuff like that, but I know what I put in my body. So when they say, "Oh, I didn't know," you know, dude, right?
Well-
Especially if you're management team.
Yes and no. Yes and no. I believe about 99% of them know, but there is a small possibility. Even our producer here was telling me that there are steroids in some of like the medical stuff that's applied to people's recovery,
Uh-huh.
Hey.
and in that usage,
Off of that, I
you
mean, call
can-
me stupid or something, but I genuinely didn't know. You know, you get a steroid cream for like a
Yeah.
rash or something.
Yeah, and those
That
are steroids. That's
actually
what I'm
goes
saying.
into- I thought they got.
And it
into your
comes out as
system.
steroids. That's what I'm
I
getting
thought
at.
he was bullshitting me. I'm like,
No,
no,
no.
it doesn't.
No,
Yeah, so
Wow.
I mean, I could
he
see.
tried to get me to rub it all over
I could
myself to
see
get over
some-
all my woes.
Yeah, I could see something like that, and then you get suspended, or I don't do it anymore. Then you know.
That's
Don't
about
mess
the
with
1%, but the
Yeah.
other ones, yes. If you eat meat in Tijuana, you know that they steroid the
it.
dogs.
First of all, if that was true, and he ate meat
Maybe
and
it was
TJ,
good dogs.
They don't
or
feed
whatever,
the dogs; they
what is-
steroid them.
Maybe
What
it's
does
good
Cisco
dog.
Rivera fight at 145? He'd be 115 if he ate tainted meat and
Yeah.
TJ, because that stuff has parasites that'll go right
I really
through 'em.
respect Cisco,
Believe me,
man. I wanna see
know.
him fight
I've
again.
had just the vegetables that were washed in the water
Yeah.
there, and dude, I was
Ooh.
dying at that line to get across that
Really?
border.
Because
It
the
was horrible.
vegetables run from me when
It
I'm
was-
there.
Well, add
I eat
add the
everything.
water from TJ, and you see what happens.
I know, but
to
I
you.
eat everything in Mexico. I just love it.
It's ridiculous. So, anyways,
Tacos al gordo.
we'll see what happens with him. Honestly, man, I hope he can appeal or something and come back, because that dude can. He's somebody that I always talk about. If you put your hard-earned money down for that pay-per-view, he's gonna deliver.
That's right.
That dude comes to fight, man. So hopefully he does it, gets better.
Free
But-
Cisco.
exactly.
Right?
Yeah,
We need
like
some
Robert said,
t-shirts
we're gonna
here
have
that
to make
say
some
Free Cisco.
shirts. Yeah,
Free
for
the
sure.
homie.
So is he from around here too? You know?
Yeah.
Going apart.
Heck
Yeah,
yeah.
that-
Cisco, I just saw
Well-
him over the weekend.
Cisco, come on this show, dude. We'll do a like a little telethon or something like that and help you get to the promised land.
I saw Vince and Cisco together. I did. I high-fived him, said, "Hey, what's up?"
Well, dude, give them a card. Tell them to get their buns in here, man. We'll rap. We'll just rap a taste.
They were giving their respects to Tony Padilla when I was walking by. I said, "Hey guys, what's going on?"
Perfect, man. Get
You
him
know?
in here, dude. We'll promote all that stuff. Tony
Spar
Padilla,
stars, make it
everybody,
happen.
get yourself in here. We'll do it.
He watches the show, so
Also,
thank
real,
you, Tony.
real quick before we continue, got Matt Brown getting ready to call in any minute now, so we're just waiting for him to call in.
Yeah.
We met with the police, and it's just the police department so far, right?
Police and fire department.
But we just met with the police officers.
We have met with the
so
police.
far.
The LAPD is putting together a
Yes.
promotion.
And although it's in the, what's it called, the embryonic stage.
It is.
or whatever. We haven't born it yet. We're working on that. They were supposed to come down for the live broadcast that we had over at NutriShop. And, I mean, just because people are, what is it, Metro Division that we're
Yeah,
talking about
yeah,
that's
yeah,
on
yeah.
call?
Yep.
So they have to actually
physically break away.
Yes, they have to. When we talk about on call, them dudes are on call because they have to be ready.
Anything could be happening.
So they weren't
especially
able.
Metro.
Yeah, they weren't able to make it out. But we're actually working with them. We're gonna do some stuff with them. So if you guys are watching or listening, completely, totally understand. That you could make it, but you're welcome here. Send
all the time.
Send a represent. What was the captain's name that says he's gonna be retiring pretty soon?
Is it Steve, Robert?
Steve, the guy that bought our beers. He was so nice.
That's
or
the
whatever.
guy.
We got to get him in here because he can promote that. I talked to.
He's such a good guy.
I texted Mike
Reaching
Beltran.
retirement.
Mike Beltran said absolutely. If it's something to do with the police and fire department, he's totally down to come. Even if he doesn't referee
That's
it
so cool.
or whatever, to come and make an appearance. So Mike Beltran and his mustache will be there for the PD.
And can I segue? Mike
for it.
Beltran hurt himself during a fight this weekend, and he actually tore his calf
At
Bellator,
right?
And I think his son even had to help him out.
Yeah,
It was a freak accident. Mike doesn't hurt himself.
Mike, why aren't you stretching before you get in
I
there?
think he
mean,
did a
just-
Muay Thai match and then went.
Because
over
even
a
though
new
you're not
breed.
fighting, you got to stretch it out because they're moving.
Yeah.
Especially with those lighter weight guys, they're moving and
I never
gotta
seen
get
him
out of
limp.
the
The
way.
man limped out of there, and that's a big man.
Yeah, and he's he's in pretty good shape.
Abs-
Man.
he's in
That dude
great
doesn't
shape.
mess
He's
around,
doing
but
circles around us.
real quick for the people listening to us here on Full Contact Fanatics, don't forget to check us out every Monday from 8 to about 9:15 or so. And on the line with us right now, live and directamente, the man himself, Matt the Immortal Brown. Matt, how are you, my friend?
Very good. How are you guys?
Good to have you on. Real quick, I know you're not too familiar with the show. You're here at Full Contact Fanatics. I'm Favi Chulo. Got our Dando sitting right here to my left, and we got Miguel sitting over here to my right. And I got to tell you, man, it's a pleasure to have you on. I mean, I know you got so much going on. You must be inundated with a lot of people that want to talk to you and stuff. Have you already been inundated with the possibility that you might be coming out of retirement?
Yeah, man. A lot of people, want to see this fight. So definitely a lot of people hitting me up and trying to see what the word is.
Trying to get exclusive.
Yeah, man. I think all things are a go. So, I haven't signed any contracts yet. So, until the dotted line is signed, it just doesn't really mean much of anything, right?
Absolutely. Well, let me tell you something. When Robert, the producer extraordinaire, advertised that we were going to have you on, I was inundated with emails and messages and stuff like that. But the one I got the most was when you were on the Ultimate Fighter. You were actually coaching. You were on T.J. Dillashaw's team, correct?
Yeah. Yep.
So they said, please ask Matt what it was like to be coaching, because they said that was one of the most where the two coaches were going back and forth and stuff like that. That was the most heated Ultimate Fighter that they've ever seen. So can you divulge on that for us? Because the heat was real, right?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know, man. I mean, Cody seemed to be trying to get under TJ's skin. I mean, it was real in the sense that, producers weren't telling him to do anything or,
right.
Nothing like that. But, I think Cody was trying to get under his skin. I don't think, I didn't see any reason for Cody to be acting the way that he was acting, honestly. And I have a lot of respect for him, and I've known him for a long time. He's a great dude. But the way he was acting I didn't really care for that so much. Now, TJ, he was professional the whole time, and he handled it well the whole time, no problem. So, much respect. My respect for TJ went up a lot, man. He really handled it well and didn't let it bother him at all the way up into the fight. Even when they fought, I mean, you could see that TJ just didn't let it bother him at all, brushed it right off.
It seemed like it, too. It seemed like he was a lot more mature or whatever. And then it all came out in the wash, man, when he did him in their fight. Now, that was one of the questions. The other question, and I got a lot of people asking me, fighting in Brazil, because I know when you fought in Brazil and stuff like that, they said, please ask him how it was fighting out there, because not only you, but a lot of other fighters say it literally, you're taking your life in your hands.
To be honest, it felt like just another arena to me. I don't know. I mean, usually I'm not used to getting booed. I usually have people on my side and the fans on my side. Yeah, not used to getting booed. Not used to people. Certainly not used to people attacking me as I'm walking out. Different things like that. But a fight's a fight, man. That cage feels the same no matter where you're at. And once I got in there, it was all the same. Unfortunately, I didn't get the job done that night, but it felt the same. All respect to Damian Maia. He got the job done.
Go ahead, Robert. bit over there.
Yeah, Matt, just sorry to interrupt. I'm off camera with the producer. James Dominguez, he said to tell you hello. And we just want to give a big shout out to Punchline, James Dominguez, for hooking this up, getting Matt Brown on the show with us.
Let's go, James. You, brother.
I'm telling you, Matt, I kind of think that you don't even really understand how much of a following that you have. Because we have a lot of fighters that come on and stuff like that, and I really got a lot of emails and a lot of messages and stuff with a bunch of different questions. Those were the two that I got the most. A lot of people were asking too, because I guess when you go out there, do they give you like a little speech or whatever and say, look, man, don't stray away, stay at your hotel or whatever, because it's kind of dangerous out there, or it doesn't matter to you?
I think they do now after my incident, but honestly, prior, no, they didn't. And I was fortunate. I was fighting in Curitiba, Brazil, and I have good friends that live coincidentally right next to the hotel, and they showed me around. They actually came pick me up in their cars, so it worked out pretty well for me, man. It wasn't no problem at all.
Oh,
but I think
Good
after
hands,
my
good
incident,
hands.
up the security.
Yeah, that's good. At least he doesn't have to worry about that. I saw Reed Harris getting in there too. I saw that video and he was like, "No, man," or whatever. So they always got people around.
That's right.
I don't think a lot of people don't know who Reed Harris is, but he came from WEC and
Yep.
he's pretty much with you guys all the time, right?
Yeah, man, Reed's a gangster, bro.
Dude, in WEC, he gloved up on me one time, and I was like, dude, he's one of those guys that kind of gets in there or whatever. Now, real quick for the people listening to us, you're here, you have Full Contact Fanatics, and we're talking to Matt Brown. So real quick, we're talking about you fighting and stuff like that. The fight against, you had a couple of losses, came back and fought Diego. I don't want to say, because it's never an easy fight.
It was
You know what I mean?
awesome. It was
But,
an awesome
you
fight.
You just took care of business in that fight, which was supposedly supposed to be your retirement fight. So since you came away pretty much unscathed in that fight, is that what made you decide to, hey, maybe I'll go ahead and do one more? Or what was the thought process on that?
Not really. To be honest, the thought process was, it changed some things up for that fight with Diego, and to be honest, they just went the right way, and everything worked out. I announced that I was retiring kind of early in that camp, maybe a little bit prematurely, because I was just kind of getting into camp and I was getting into shape, and things were starting to pick up and get intense, and it was getting hard, but I wasn't really in the shape that I needed to be in, so I had to push a little bit harder, and I was just kind of getting worn out and having some bad days through the camp. And I think every fighter probably deals with that throughout the vast majority of camps, right? No camp ever goes perfect, but I think just at that time, at that point in that time in my life, I was like, man, I don't know how many more times I can do this. I'm kind of just done doing this, and I just need to. I'm done with this. I was just frustrated and not really feeling up for it. But then things came together. I moved some things around, brought in some of my old coaches, and ended up having the best camp of my life. And by the time I got to the fight, I was like, gosh, man, I can't believe that I announced my retirement. I feel
got
great.
a lot left.
Yeah, it seems like there's a big draw too. People really want to see this Carlos Condit thing come together. Is that maybe some, a bit of influence on you maybe to take this, because it really is the will of the people. This is what they want to see.
Yeah, I agree.
There's certainly some fights that would not have been. The fact that it was Carlos Condit absolutely played a part in me saying, I can do this, because that's a fight. That's a fight that I'm going to get up for. My coaches are going to get up for. Fans are going to get up for. And once it's all said and done, it's going to be worth it.
Yeah.
He's a legend in his own right, and I can't wait to get there and trade some blood with him.
And I agree. Now, Matt Brown is nobody to mess with. I've always said that guy's dangerous, man. Now, you go and you take Carlos Condit out, that's going to propel him right back up into the, into the main to be
mix.
talked about. So if you know, let's say you knock Carlos Condit out and he's done, you come away unscathed, kind of like you did with Diego, you might get another shot at the run at the belt, right?
Yeah, that's absolutely a possibility. I'm taking one fight at a time, not even thinking ahead of that.
You can't look past him.
Yeah, man, Carlos is a dangerous, dangerous guy. He's proved that over and over again. And I think he's going to be looking for redemption. I thought he looked real bad against Neil, against Neil Magny. in his last fight, and I think he's going to be. I think part of his, part of his motivation for getting right back in there against me was, he wants redemption. He wants to show that wasn't, that maybe it was ring rust or that wasn't really him that night. And so I expect him to come in really top form here, and we're gonna have a fucking war.
It's gonna be a war. That's right.
Yeah. So when you did kind of retire or whatever, and kind of got home, and we're hanging out at home, did it come into your mind like, you know what, I kind of miss it, or you were so done with it? Plus you got 2 boys, so you start with them. Because I had Rich Clemente on, and he said that he started to miss it, but then once his boys started wrestling, that sent him in another direction. He totally was done with fighting because his boys were wrestling, and he was so much into helping coaching them. Is it something like that for you, or because your kids are still young, right?
They literally just had their first wrestling practice.
Yes,
last week. So, absolutely, man. It's easy to keep your time occupied because I also have a daughter. I have twin boys,
right.
7-year-old and a daughter that's 2. So, I don't have any problems filling the time up around here. So I absolutely have a great time with them, and I could spend 24 hours a day just focusing on them. And that's what I did for the holidays, man. I retired for the holidays. I'm crazy. I retired for the holidays, and now it's 2018, and let's get back in there, mix it up again, and let's put a hurting on someone, and we'll take it after that. We'll see how it feels on April 15th. See how things go then.
Yeah,
very nice.
I agree 100%, man. I mean, I don't know if people are thinking that Matt Brown doesn't have anything left, but that he's got a lot left. And I think after he does do some damage against Carlos Condit, he could be right back into the title picture again, man.
Yeah.
Especially with everybody he's fought. But anyways, Matt, a million thank yous for coming on, man. I got to tell you, when Robert said, you were coming on, I was like, dude, he's got to be in demand, man, especially with the announcement of that fight. So for you to come on and take the time to talk with us, man, we really appreciate it. I know you're on social media. What's your social media so that people can follow you?
I am the Immortal on Twitter and Instagram, and Facebook is, I have a page, the Immortal Matt Brown. I'm not sure if that's the name. I'm sure if you search my name, it'll come up.
Yeah.
Right on.
Just put it in your search engine. Well, hey, man, the best of luck to you, especially going against Carlos Condit and all that. It's awesome, man, and we really appreciate you coming on. We definitely, for sure. We definitely wish you the best of luck for sure. Do us a favor, man. After you get that win or whatever, come back on, man, so we can talk about that. All right, my friend?
Anytime, man. I really appreciate it.
All right, you got it. For the people
Matt.
listening, don't forget the Immortal Matt Brown. Look for him. Big fight coming up against Carlos Condit.
Yep.
It's not set in stone yet, but it's just right around the corner. So, again, a million thank yous, Matt, for coming on. Robert, take us to a little quick break. We'll be right back after this. The Immortal Matt Brown, everybody.
Thanks for having me, guys.
Thank you, sir.
Dude, that's huge. That's huge to get him on, man, because, especially once they announced that fight, a lot of people were like, and you know what? I talk a lot about people that are underrated, but I think Matt Brown is like super underrated.
Dude, I honestly just wanted to listen to him, you know what I mean?
I like him. I like Matt Brown as a person, so when he goes off and just talks about his opinions on things, I really want to listen. So it's an interesting thing that he has such a deep background in the sport, and he's fought the guys that I've wanted to see. Now there's some other people that are lined up. Hopefully Carlos Condit comes through. Like Miguel said, just listening to him. You know what I mean?
That's why I just wanted to listen to him.
I'm pretty sure that fight's going to come through because it's the same for both of them.
Yeah.
If Carlos Condit gets a win over Matt Brown, he's going to be right back in the picture too. So it's for both. So which means both of them are going to be training hard and getting in there or whatever. So and Matt Brown's a family man. I mean, I've seen the what's the show called, Countdown?
Yeah.
To UFC.
I've seen it with the kids.
Robbie Lawler, he's got kids. So I think that's even more motivation. You know what I mean? To get that win and make one more title shot. He's far from done. I mean, that's for sure. So
how about just the respect that he has, just not to look past Carlos.
Exactly.
And he just laid out Diego
Yeah. Well,
I mean, for what it's worth, he laid out Diego effortlessly.
Yeah, he ain't no fool, man. He knows what's going on.
He's not going to step in there thinking that that's going to happen right away. But if it does,
but even at that, like how he said, take it a fight at a time.
That's
He's
right.
Not rushing to get to the top or, to get that belt.
Yeah.
right away.
Yeah, he knows.
He knows,
He's pretty mature guy, and
We didn't have to ask him about the retirement. He said, "You know what? I retired for the holidays."
yeah, and that was,
And how cool is that?
And
I mean, we all
sometimes-
want to spend time with
sometimes
family.
you
Yeah.
get a renewed vigor. You know what I mean? He
Yeah.
takes a little time off. He gets to see his kids wrestle and stuff like
Yeah.
that. And then he's
Yeah.
like, you know what? I feel pretty good, man.
Little
I think I'm
turkey
ready
and
to-
gravy. I'm ready to go.
That's what I'm talking about,
Right?
hey man. And it seems like he has a lot of family support and stuff like that. So I think he's gonna do well. Hey, big ups to Robert for hooking that up, man.
I'll tell you
to get him
this:
on
if you haven't read up on Matt Brown, if you
James-
haven't spent
James
time
Dominguez,
learning
thank you.
about him, man, get on it because Matt Brown has a unique history and what brought him
If
to
I were
MMA.
honestly to describe a good fight of his, at least one of my personal favorites was when he fought Eric Silva
yes,
and he beat
yes.
the piss out of
Yeah,
him.
Dude, he go ahead, Robert. No mic.
and
for you,
Eric
bro?
Silva's a tough dude.
He broke it. James Dominguez.
James Dominguez, it is.
Punchline and James Dominguez, thank you because
James Dominguez and Punchline.
the Immortal is awesome. Throw it up
Okay.
behind us, some Punchline stuff. Throw
That'll
us some
work. We can
T-shirts.
post
We'll wear
it.
them during
Hey,
our
James
show.
Dominguez, a million thank yous, bro. You can put it up behind us while we talk
Robert,
about
send
the
me a couple
UFC.
extra larges. I'll wear that thing everywhere I go. Those guys are
Absolutely.
cool.
Send me a small because I'm small. I can fit a medium, but
He's
You guys
fit-
got chonies you need
send me a
modeled?
small.
That's right.
Perfect.
Well,
Send
we
me a
have
pair.
Mi Guapo, our
Hey.
personal model, on site.
Absolutely. So
Bimbo Bread, send him some bread.
a big shout out to them for helping us get him on. That's huge, man. Especially now because he's in demand. You know, especially coming to fight Carlos Condit. Now, real quick before we talk about these, I'm gonna go on record as saying I didn't get the pay-per-view because I just had no interest in Ngannou against Stipe Miocic.
I thought
I
Ngannou had him.
primarily
Or whatever.
didn't watch it because
Daniel
I,
Cormier either. I'm
to
sorry.
be honest, I was more interested in Bellator in the sense that it was
free, and it was
well,
on Spike.
You know what? That
Our
local
Paramount.
card
Paramount.
alone.
But
Yeah.
the fact that it was all local guys,
Exactly,
all guys from our
exactly.
backyard, from
Exactly.
you know
Yeah. So
San Pedro, Whittier,
Yeah. Well, go ahead, Robert. We'll start.
DIE,
with
you know,
Bellator
whatever.
then. Of course, Chad George. He fought Munka. I only got to see clips or whatever for Chad
yeah,
George.
me too. Unfortunately, they didn't. I think it was a swing bout.
Yeah,
Which
and
there were like 8 swing bouts after the.
Exactly.
Bellator is known for that or whatever, but you know.
They should at least still stream those though, or
Yeah.
something. You know,
Yeah, we all want to see him.
I wanted
Yeah.
to see them.
Yeah, I know.
I actually had a
do
great
that.
time because after the main card, there were 7 extra fights to see.
Yeah.
The place cleared out, but guess what? Those were some awesome fights.
Those are the
some
best
up
fights.
and coming
Usually like
fighters.
Those are the
They're
best
trying to
fights.
prove themselves. They were
Yeah.
slugging it out.
Those dudes want to win.
Exactly.
Everybody was on their toes after that.
Especially in Bellator.
In Bellator, yeah.
And Chad George is a good example of that because he took almost 3 years off.
Yeah.
They told him when he won with that Von Flue choke, well, we don't really think you're too exciting or whatever. And now that motivated him.
Yeah.
You know, to go. He sat in this chair right here and talked about
Yep,
it.
I
you know,
remember.
about-
We were all here.
And he's he's come a long way. Got his gym opened up another one, CMMA. So I think it motivated him, you know, to win that fight. We're gonna have to get him back on to see what the future holds for him. I think.
I can tell you this: I haven't seen a solid fight camp as I saw with him. I haven't seen the level of grappling that like I saw him put himself through. So I guess at the end of the day, that's the result.
Well, he even
You know
went
what
to
I mean?
he even went to
Float-
ATT for a week.
In the midst of the 6-week camp, he's flying back and forth from
Yeah.
Florida to make sure that he.
How bad he wants it. Go ahead, Robert.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I was lucky enough to spend some time watching how that man operates. It's interesting. Even if it's a fight camp for Chad George, he still takes the time out to pay attention to all the fighters that he has.
Right.
The people come there to help Chad, but at the same time, he's still helping them. It's crazy.
Yeah.
I shot two videos for him, just clips, because I wanted to do more of an in-depth thing, but I didn't have time.
Right.
So I put out a couple just promo clips that we had out there. And if you go to his classes or his things, there's a motivational speech waiting for you every time you show up. It's crazy how he operates, how his brain works.
Right.
Um,
when we talk about paying dues, I mean that dude's paid a lot of dues. You know what I mean? And coming up in the ranks, and now he's there, so he knows what it's like. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. And if you, I have another one that kind of just shows like the guys that are there, the bond they have is, I mean, we were from one dojo, all of us, right?
Yeah.
We're all
Right.
from Dilla, so we
We're
know
all
what
from
the
Dilla.
bond is. We know what it's like to be in someone's fight camp.
That's why we sit together, bleed
We
together.
know
bleed
how to
together.
get beat up by Henry Corrales, or at least I do.
Or Frank Park.
Oh no, I don't want to. I run away. But yeah, there's a bond there that if you're wanting to not just be a professional fighter or just amateur, even just want to learn, and you're in that area, you should go to CMMA.
Yeah.
I mean, you should go check them out. I mean, they're good people. I mean, all the guys there are all about each other, so it's a really good camp. I mean, I'm sure everybody got some beef inside and out, but I haven't seen it there yet. But
well, we were there for the opening when he had the grand opening, and you could just tell, man, you could just see in his face he was so happy to finally get. That's what he's been working towards, or whatever. So, props to him, man. I mean, the proof is there. You got the passion. It came out in the fight. Look, I mean, take nothing away from Muka. He was in there, but Chad was just. I mean, just so focused.
Such
or whatever.
a dominant fight, yeah.
Yeah, big time.
And I tell you what, I'm not a person that's about quotes. The last thing I want to see is another motivational quote.
Right.
Because you can post it and not live it, and, it's just too much. But he seems to know the pulse of the people that he's training. So when he does say things, it's there to ignite the fire in them, and they step it up, man.
Yeah.
Because they're training, geez.
the funniest thing I've ever seen is like when they end practice, right? You think they're done, right? So yeah, this is it. We're done, guys. And you're like, oh shit, that was a hard, long practice.
Yeah.
And then they go, okay, well they'll do their like champion victory run. They'll run around with their hands up, it's like a solo. And just when you think, okay, we're done, I'm about to pack my shit up, right? He goes, everybody, don't forget to do your 100 fucking sit-ups and your 100 push-ups and all that. And I'm like, for reals? Y'all gonna do burpees and push-ups and crunches now after all of that? I'm like, that's insane.
But see, it's smart though, because he takes notice. And that dude's always in shape, ready to go, right?
Well, that's the other thing is that you watch. That's something we've talked about. People that have to cut, with the people not making weight, and how do you feel about that? People are dropping off on cards.
Yeah.
Here's a guy that's in tip-top shape every day of his life.
Yeah.
Okay, and
Lives
pushing
it.
to push, living it.
Lives it, everything.
Preaches it.
Let's get him back in here. Get him back in here
Chad,
and
come
hear
on.
from him for sure.
Now,
also, our boy Henry Corrales did damage, and Georgie Kanakarian is no pushover. That dude comes from Millennia MMA, who I have a good working relationship. They even when Delo had Long Beach Fight Night, had a good working relationship with them, and said that's why I bring those guys, because they come to fight. Lorenz Larkin comes out of that. Jonathan Wilson, all those guys, good sparring partners. So for Henry to be as dominant as he was, I mean, he just kept, that's Henry though.
It was a war.
He just kept coming forward and kept punching or whatever. Huge.
Yo, man, I honestly thought he looked super fucking sharp. Like, really sharp.
I agree. I agree.
Henry's another crisp, like, not peaking fighter. There's still a peak that I just think he's not still, there. He's getting better and better.
Big, yeah.
And to be on the main card, that's moving him back up. So what do you think's next for him?
The top,
man.
I don't know.
Say, another step up. I would throw him back up there with like the pit bulls and, Daniel Strauss.
Yeah, maybe one more fight and then he's got to be
I'm
now is she in the same weight category as AJ McKee?
Yeah,
they were supposed to fight at one time.
Yeah,
that's probably.
I think that would draw money. Yeah. I think that would draw big money,
especially
back out
locally.
Here in the Southern California area.
Yeah. I mean, I think Henry would always want to run one back. Anything he lost, I know that guy is always game to take one back.
Yeah, but I think AJ McKee's the money fight, man, right there. So not Bjorn Rebney, it's Scott Coker. Scott Coker, hook that up, man. Watch the show.
I think it's
take one back, but it's while moving up too.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, because AJ McKee's pretty hot right now. So Henry knocks him out. That's gonna put him right up there, man, big time. So I think Scott Coker, make it happen, bro. Give me a call, dude. We'll make sure we get him over there for you.
Yeah, you know what? And one thing we didn't say is not a one-dimensional guy.
No.
Henry's has got so many different ways to come at you.
Is that fight on YouTube where Henry fought at Long Beach Fight Night and was literally almost out on his feet and came back and choked that dude out?
Yeah, that's exactly.
You remember that
fight? He caught it. He was trying to catch a kick. He caught it the shin to the face.
Yeah.
The dude jumped on him and threw a guillotine. Henry fought the guillotine, rolled out,
and came back.
Yeah, guillotined the dude back.
That was one of those most amazing fights I've ever seen. I mean, that dude is nails. Man, we got to find that on YouTube.
Well, I could tell you this. One day I walk into Delo and I see Robert basically in a bad way and getting blow after blow from Henry, just beating on him, right? And Robert's like a bear, so you don't think the bear can get hurt because you got all that stuff that's protecting your body. Well, we get in the car to go eat Korean barbecue or do whatever it is that we do, and he looks over at me and he goes, "I think something's wrong." And I'm all, "What's wrong?" He's all, "Well, you're not supposed to feel it till the next day." and I think his body was locking up on him.
Yeah.
And I really think that the
dude,
power of Henry's fist
penetrated
the bear's fur.
And I've
Robert's
seen
like,
him,
thanks for embarrassing me.
dude.
asshole."
I was
I've seen
100
him-
pounds lighter, asshole.
Well, you know,
I've seen
You're
him
still a
doing
big
fight
fella.
camps. Dude, I've seen him doing fight camps, him and they don't go easy, dude.
Well,
It's like a fight. I was like, holy
the Panda
shit.
doesn't go easy. Go in there and put some gloves on with him, you know?
I mean, but it's not, they go. It's like full contact Friday or whatever. I was like, dude, they ain't messing around.
Thanks for everybody who ditched that fight camp day because I had a knee injury.
Oh, so it was you.
And I was in the parking lot with Krishna leaving, and they're like, hey, Henry doesn't
Dude,
have
we
any
need some
sparring
help. We need
partners.
some
I'm
help,
like, dude, I got a messed up knee. I can't even move. So not only that, I'm stuck in the ring, that small Bruce's small tiny ring without a leg. So I'm just standing in there just
taking shots.
Yeah, and we just and he was being nice to me because he could have kicked the shit out of my legs, but he didn't. He just
But you know
punched
what,
me in
though?
the face.
Robert stood there and just did the Hawaiian thing and took a lot of punches. But he regretted it an hour later, I'll tell you that.
The head was still spinning.
Dude, I know. Well, speaking of legs, and before we get to that, you see Rory McDonald's leg?
Oh, yeah, it's dust. It's
Dude,
nose.
his
face.
Carried out.
Yeah,
Now,
they carried him.
am-
That's
am
true.
I
I stood
missing
right next to
something?
him, actually.
I thought he lost that fight. What
so,
did I
too.
see wrong?
He's not the
Because
champ.
Douglas Lima was putting it on him.
Yeah.
And Rory McDonald wanted no part of that stand up. He was shooting immediately.
He lost round
what
after round.
What am I missing? When they announced that, I thought, "Oh, you got to be kidding me!" Help me out, man.
The
Help
crowd
me out.
loved
Am
him.
I
So
wrong?
he was a crowd favorite that night,
Art,
and I don't
somebody,
understand.
what am I missing here?
I don't know. I thought he lost.
Yeah, I truly thought he lost, but he was the crowd favorite. They were yelling Rory to the bitter end.
Yeah, but god dang, man. I mean, is
But
it Douglas
Lima-
Lima or what's?
Yeah, Lima.
Douglas.
Douglas Lima.
Dude, unscathed. Come and just kick when he would kick
Douglas
him.
Lima fought
Well,
Matt Brown.
Not directly unscathed. I mean, they both.
No, he
looked
took
chewed
some
up,
shots. He took some shots, but not like Rory.
Rory
Rory's teeth were
was-
messed up and face.
He
and-
didn't look
and
like Rory
He had
anymore.
another alien growing out of his shin and
Yeah.
all
I'm thinking
kinds
of
of stuff.
somebody else that fought Matt Brown.
His
Yeah.
brother, Diego.
The brother fought
Oh,
him.
yeah,
Diego.
yeah,
or whatever.
yeah.
But
Diego
still,
Lima.
so they got to give him a rematch or something,
I
right?
knew it was one of those Limas.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought Douglas won too.
Yeah, dude.
I mean, but it wasn't to the point where like I would like throw my hands up and go, "Oh, you guys crazy." Or
Well, it
I
was
could
to the
see
point
it,
where I
but
threw my hands up
I
and
was
said,
like-
"You guys are crazy."
1 and 2 went to Rory, and then 3, 4, and 5 I gave it to Douglas.
At least.
Yeah,
I mean, you know,
At the very least. And that definitely puts him
I
ahead.
gave Rory maybe the last round because he was shooting and
takedowns.
Douglas and Lima was getting
And
tired
finished
and
on
he
top.
started to put some elbows on him. But other than that, dude, I had a 4-1. I mean, I don't get it. I don't know what. That's why they say never leave it to the judges because I don't know what they look for or whatever. So take it around the table. You think it's immediate rematch or what?
I think he deserves it.
It's gonna be a
I
while.
think he deserves it, but I don't think they're going to give it to him.
Yeah, and if they do, it's gonna be a while, right?
Yeah.
At least a year to let that dude heal up. Would you agree?
I think he's going to be out for a while. We haven't heard the complete damage report yet, but there is some
He looked
damage.
bad.
Yeah.
He looked bad.
It's
yeah.
gonna be a minute till
That's
he
the kind of thing
gets
that
back in there.
destroys someone. So if they didn't give him the
Well, dude,
belt,
that's like the second time that's happened to him.
So-
that happened
yeah.
with Matt Brown. Or
He-
sorry, can you come back to Matt Brown? Robbie Lawler.
he looked like a truck hit him. And
That's
he probably felt like it too because his team carried him out of there.
That's the good. When I saw that interview with Dan Gable when he said, "I don't care if you win or lose. I just want that guy to say I never want to fight that guy again." And that's probably what Rory McDonald said. You know what? I don't ever want to fight that dude again.
Yeah.
Because that was a beating. But hey, man, I mean, props to Roy for coming out of there with that belt. Now, I gotta tell you, man. First of all, Rampage looked very heavy in this fight. It didn't seem like he. Now, I'm just pleased, man.
I'm glad
'cause
you're friends with him because you
I was
can
gonna
say
he'll
that.
hit
But
me and knock my teeth, down my throat. But Chael, it looked like the Chael of old. He was throwing some shots when he would close distance. He shoot in, get him to the ground. I thought he fought the perfect fight, man. I thought he did exactly what he needed to do to get past Rampage.
I
We'll go
can
to
tell you this.
Dondo first. You agree?
Well, yes, you're right. Yes, I agree with all your statements, but it just shows you what a few years can do. It was only a few years ago that Anderson Silva was getting pounded almost, to the point of never coming back from Chael. And then, he's a different guy today. He's older. But, yeah, he employed the right game plan for Rampage.
Exactly.
But he's not the Chael we once knew. Because Chael,
That's true.
years ago would have just destroyed him, I
On
think.
the ground, yeah. Once he got him down, but he, maybe he was saving a little bit more for Fedor or whatever. But he did what he
He employed the right game,
Yeah,
that's
it was
for
a
sure.
Chael of old. He'd take 1 or 2 shots.
And they were tired,
close the
bro.
Distance
they were
get 'em
tired,
down.
man. The
Plus, fighting
stamina.
at a heavier weight.
Yeah.
Rampage was looking big. You know, to
Hit
hold,
big.
especially holding him up against the cage
Yeah.
and stuff like that takes a lot out of you.
Well, there was a point where he picked him up and drop shell. Did you see that?
Yeah.
Slam,
Yeah.
Exactly. So
And that takes a pretty big dude to pick Chael Sonnen and drop him like that.
right, I agree.
I didn't see any leverage. I saw a deadlift.
So Miguel, when you were going toe to toe with Bob Sapp in Pride, did you have that same problem? You get that lactic acid built up in the biceps?
Oh. I felt it more in the thighs.
You think so? But you were able to pick him up and slam him too,
Oh,
so
yeah,
it
like
was
nothing.
like no big deal. But
Like nothing.
now he's gonna get the winner of Fedor and Frank Mir. I love Fedor to death, man. And it's Frank Mir to me is kind of cocky or whatever, which he kind of has the right to be. I mean, when you snap what's his name? Nogueira's arm,
Yeah.
and stuff like that.
That's a big
he's
deal.
been tapping out Frank.
But wasn't it Baby Nog or was it Big
Tank
Nog?
Abbott and people
Big.
like that. You know
It
what
was
I mean?
Big
So
Nog.
he is legit. But I think that's what he's gonna do, man. He's gonna take Fedor to the ground and end up getting a submission on Fedor. I think Fedor's.
I don't think there's no.
Can we bet?
Fedor.
Can we bet
I don't see
stakes
it.
on this? What do you want to bet?
Do you think a snap? Or
Can we put a bet right here?
you
Or
think Fedor's gonna knock him out?
If for whatever reason Frank
I
Mir
bet-
pulls a rabbit out of the hat, it's going to be along the same lines of Matt Mitrione, just a quick knockout. Something you didn't see coming.
Yeah.
I'll put a
mean,
knockout on.
I agree.
And the reason I say
if
that-
Fedor hits him, he's gonna go out.
That's what
Oh,
I
yeah,
think.
yeah.
That's
Not
what
like
I
when
think.
Dos Santos hit him and he was doing this, but just
I think Fedor comes with a big right,
and
Yeah.
cracks him one.
puts him out. Yeah.
Because honestly, if it hits the ground, I mean, although times have changed and it's a different time now, but I remember the old Fedor from the Pride days where
When Kazuki Fujita hit him and he came back from that.
Yeah,
was
he may
wobbling.
not have that
the
comeback.
cool thing I always liked about Fedor is he never ever won by those what I call generic submission, guillotine, rear naked choke, guillotine, Kimura,
Yeah.
arm lock, like all this crazy shit,
Yeah.
like nothing. Yeah.
And
His advanced basics.
and
is what
he's
he
like
is. He
Elijah-
stuck to it and finished it.
he's like Elijah Perez. You don't know what he's thinking because he's just so quiet or whatever. You know
What
what
did
I
you do
mean?
today?
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah, I'm good. So we'll
I don't
see
have
what
any
happens.
secrets.
I mean, the winner gets Chael. I think that either one of them is going to be an interesting fight or whatever. So I thought it was pretty cool. I was kind of like, the tournament, whatever. But it turned out to be pretty good. Now, did you get to see? We talked about it earlier. Aaron Pico fight. I think that dude's making moves, man.
Oh,
it was
dude,
just.
yeah.
I don't know who his boxing coach is now, but you see him come and just. Boom!
Yeah.
And when he caught him, it was it's just that instant.
Yeah.
Like it took a second.
I think
and
it was
then
a
once
liver
kicked
punch.
in,
Feel it right
he
near your
just,
urethra.
dude, he just
Yep.
went right there.
right.
Right
He's
down.
pissing
So
blood for a
That's what I'm
week.
saying.
he looks good, and when you got that type of wrestling, in you, and now you're bringing the stand-up game together, that's gonna be a dangerous dude.
And he's a local boy, so he
Yeah, no
had
doubt.
quite a following. I can
And-
tell you that Aaron Pico is a name to follow
Yes,
because people
former
love
St.
him.
John Bosco wrestler or whatever, they're still backing him. I mean, the dude has got game. I think it's everybody has to get that feet wet and stuff like that, and I think he's got it, and I think he's gonna start moving up. What do you think, Robert?
Yeah, I agree. And Aaron Muro says Pico's going to be a superstar.
And Aaron Moore, I wish you were here, man. That woman is a wealth of knowledge, or whatever. We could have had her. In that
And I
producer's
neglected
chair,
to mention, she was there at Bellator and came and
Exactly,
slapped
that's
me
why.
upside the head.
She was at Bellator and LFA, so we were going to try to get her thoughts on that. But she's doing something dumb like working and paying her bills and all that. So you can quit that job. You can just come over here, be professional over here. We
Robert will
don't have to
pay
worry
you
about that.
a
Yeah,
wonderful wage.
You could be like a wrestler. We'll pay you in tacos and
And
stuff like
gummies
that. Yeah,
and
exactly.
Hawaiian
Meatball
Hey, we just
sandwiches.
got some water too, so we can give you a bottle of water. So you'll be
Robert's
set.
full of sugar. Don't eat that.
Now, the only other fight thing was Michael Chandler and Yamaguchi. Michael Chandler, man, hot and cold.
Yeah.
I think a lot of the fights that he had with Eddie Alvarez,
Yeah.
I kind of might have took quite a bit out of him or whatever, but he looked actually good in this fight, man.
Yep.
Yamaguchi is a submission specialist, but he looked like the Chandler of old, and if that dude can pull it together, dude, that he can make another run at that belt.
Mm-hmm.
That dude is, and to me, I mean, it's maybe our friend Arturo can agree to this. I don't know if it's just because of a wrestling background, but there's such a grind, and like what we talked about when Sarah McManus here, when you're in them tournaments, you don't know who you're gonna go against. You worry about yourself. You don't prepare. Okay, this guy's got this.
That's the
You
best
just-
training you can get,
Yeah,
right?
you just go or whatever. So those dudes look like nails, bro. I'm telling you. I think that's why Ben Askren was as badass as he was. And
Aren't
Chael
those
and
the
all
best
guys.
fights when someone implements their game? They're
Yeah.
not too much worried about your game. They implement their game, and
Yeah.
they
The way
they
it
have
should
the
be.
will to do it.
Right.
That's the way it should be.
I agree. I mean, it's just the constant grind, and you know, they're constantly cutting weight, so that's nothing new to them.
And even the
stuff
crowd,
like
we
that.
see them play patty cake, right? Trying to get their distance
Exactly.
down. We see them patty cake too much, and nobody wants to see that. They're not
Exactly.
implementing their will. They're a little worried. They're tentative.
Unbelievable. I mean, it was actually a great. You know, usually in Bellator, it was actually I had a good time watching the fights. They were really good. Go ahead, Robert. You Chael Sonnen back in the day?
One comment we missed. I'm sorry, YouTube guys. Javier Tellez says, John, you're always talking about weight.
Thank you, Javier.
Miguel looks constipated. And it says, Chael Sonnen is going to win the whole thing. He'll bet you guys $100.
You know what? I
Fedor,
would
Fedor,
take that
Fedor.
bet because that
I give it to Fedor.
he still got quite, and it's like I said, that wrestling mentality, man. That dude comes straight in.
Mr. Tellus, just because your bowels are severely loose, I'm not going to mention how, but, you know, don't hate.
Yes.
That's right.
So
Come
but
sit in this chair, Mr.
but
Tellez.
we do appreciate you watching.
Tellez.
We do appreciate you watching. We'll see what happens. But hey,
JT.
great night of fight, Bellator. I think they got a little something there to pique the interest.
Hey, real quick, let's
Go
not
for it.
forget about our homie Gabe Green from Affliction over at Subfighter
That's
MMA.
right. That's right. Yeah.
He won his bout,
Yeah.
you know, so
And did we
Thank
put
you.
an interview up with him? Or?
We
I believe we
Yeah.
Let's bring him in.
we play.
Yeah, we did. Maybe
Yes.
we could run that on.
Let's
or-
try to get.
or-
He's a cool
Yeah,
dude.
we'll talk
Yeah,
about
he's
it.
What a
cool.
good
He's
performance,
cool.
man. Congrats.
Go for
We
it.
had the other guy fight too. How did he do? Justin Lin's dude.
Yes, there were so many fights. What's his name? From Subfighter, we had Mikey Segura.
Oh, he lost.
Yeah, he did lose
Oh,
his
Adam
fight.
Lynn's guy.
Yeah, Adam Lynn.
uh,
Adam Lynn's fighter, but he's a gamer, as
Yeah.
they put it, and we will see Mikey Segura again.
Oh, for sure.
I wanted to see the Roosevelt Roberts fight
Oh,
because the Spaniard looked like a beast in training, but I heard
Let me tell you,
Roosevelt
the
Roberts-
Spaniard is the favored fighter. People, when they saw that, Roosevelt Roberts is not a complete unknown, but not well known. The Spaniard came in, and he actually was doing really good, and I thought maybe he was just going to dominate, but a first round knockout, and it was gnarly.
Roosevelt.
Yeah, it was a gnarly knockout. So
Like
I
you said, when
think-
we were at the Black House, I mean, his training's pretty intense. So,
Yeah.
you know.
Dude, he was beating that dude's the
I think
pads like that guy like slept with his wife or something.
And
He
is
was
Kenny
crazy.
Johnson his wrestling coach over there at Black House?
I don't know. I mean,
okay,
I
but
we're
sometimes
at
we
Black
see
House.
people hit pads, and we're like, oh, they hit pads, but can they do that on a person?
Yeah.
He can do that on a person.
Well,
And
it's
I
like,
witnessed it.
it's like you said, it's cool, man, because a lot of the local guys get to fight on a big card like that, and they step up their game, man. You know what I mean?
What
Well,
about,
he hit the throttle, and he didn't let off. It
Yeah.
was intense.
Yeah.
what about
And it
Chris?
was a surprise.
Anybody catch the Chris Padilla fight? Taco?
Taco, yes.
How
was
did he
that?
do?
I don't remember if he won or lost, though.
Well, he's cool.
Pull it
dude.
up.
Him
Pull
and
it up.
brothers.
Yeah,
I'll
they-
pull it
Where's
up.
Chris Padilla from?
He's with Ian, Fight Science.
Yeah,
So,
yeah, yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
okay.
Well, I did the Fight
think
Science
he won.
episode. We got
He
to
was
go
training.
and kick it there, and I met Taco.
You did
and
ask
his
me about
brother.
that, and I
So-
forgot to relook at
So
that.
for the people listening, if you want to check out Gym Crashers, is that one up on Gym
Yeah,
Crashers?
Yeah.
Fight Science is the last one we did. We're gonna
Check
put
out
up
the
Anaconda
Fight Science
this week.
one. You can check all that out right there
Yeah,
because we bring it to you. So Bellator, please remember that we're putting those guys on the air so that you guys could check them out. So
And you know what?
Bellator
You
people,
see Ian
please check
Harris
that out.
everywhere we go. He's at a Russ
was at
Buer
King of the Cage,
BJJ
too.
tournament. He's at King of the Cage. He's at Celtic Gladiator. He's at Bellator.
Yeah.
If there's an event where there's combat, Ian Harris is there, and he's got one of his guys, two of his guys fighting. So he's a pretty good instructor, and he's
Yeah.
got a good team
Very
there.
dedicated. He's all over the place,
Absolutely.
man. It's smart. Get his name out there. Now, real quick, because we're running up against the clock. I didn't get the pay-per-view, but I watched the highlights and I watched the post show or whatever. So it's funny how they got Big John McCarthy's doing commentary now.
Yeah.
So Goldie went over to Bellator
Yep.
when they let him go, and then Smith came over to UFC or whatever. So it's like trading. It's like trading.
It's just
Jordan
like the networks,
for
right?
Pippen or whatever.
Alicia
but
Del Valle, catch her
Yeah,
on Channel
that's-
4 now. I've switched up
that's
completely.
crazy how they
Where
just.
you at, Alicia?
Do you think
Right,
they-
holler
do
at your boy.
That's right.
Do you think
I gotta
they
post
did
that
on
picture of
purpose?
me and her up.
They brought Smith over and just said, okay, well, if you want Goldie, we'll take Smith or
Yep.
whatever. You think they did that on purpose or?
I mean, Bellator is taking fighters, UFC is taking fighters. I mean, why not take a professional that already has a following
What's
and
his
a
name?
name?
Smith.
Jimmy Smith.
Jimmy Smith.
Yeah.
Did you see that episode where him and his buddy went to Brazil and,
I watched
and
all
trained
of
with
them.
Hickson?
I watched all of
And
them.
all
Oh,
that-
the Fight Quest?
The Fight
Yeah,
Quest.
yeah,
Did you
yeah,
see
yeah.
that one?
I
That one
watched
was
them
pretty
all.
good, man. That was a trip. How they and the other guy's name was Jimmy or whatever, and they showed him going through all the training in Brazil. Homer got sick. He got a parasite, and
Ugh.
they ended up fighting at the end. That was pretty cool, man.
Yeah.
And it was funny because he goes, "Well, I'm actually a purple belt," and blah blah. He goes, "Okay, well, let's see what you got." And then they were just showing all kinds of stuff. It was amazing. If that's still on, you should check out that Fight Quest with Jimmy Smith and them, because that was pretty cool.
Yeah.
So
Can we flip the background to?
so the dude is legit. So, anyways,
events this
Stipe Miocic fight with Ngannou was, dude. Stipe Miocic solidified himself as a legit heavyweight. He just kept, like Henry, he just kept coming forward, dude, and didn't even give him a chance to set or whatever. He'd throw 1-2, and instead of looking at his work, he'd step up and throw 2 more, and before you knew it, Ngannou was back on his heels.
Kept him busy.
You can't throw any power when you're back on your heels.
And I really thought it was going to go the other way, personally. I know
Yeah, I
everybody
thought
was
he was gonna
against
hit
me.
him.
It was
But
Ngannou's
Stipe made a
chance.
beaver out
That
of
was
me, dude.
Ngannou's chance to really step it up.
Miguel, would you agree?
I agree. Yeah,
Yeah,
definitely.
Is that how it was when you were sparring with Mike Tyson back in the day?
Jeez.
Yeah.
Miguel was in like first grade when that was going on.
That's no excuse. But hey, so, dude, the heavyweight other than Ngannou, who else is left for Stipe, dude? I mean,
He's
Mark
been
Hunt.
done. Yeah, Mark Hunt.
well, I mean, he's already fought him, or whatever. So, and what's his name already got knocked out
Robert
by
just says that
Ngannou?
because that's his cousin.
So who's who's next in the heavyweight division? I'm so out of the
Well,
loop with that.
Actually, Blades, I guess, if he gets through Mark Hunt, right?
I think Stipe.
But I mean,
Wait, who?
Blades.
The big morenito.
Oh, yeah.
So I mean,
Contradicted big morenito. The big moreno from over there.
what was pretty awesome about that
But
fight
who's gonna buy that pay-per-view against Blades?
it depends what Blades does.
They're gonna have to
I mean,
do some serious promotion on that.
If somehow Blades, beats Mark Hunt in a stoppage,
Yeah.
then maybe. I mean, that's all you can promote, right? That's all that's out there.
Yeah,
But I mean, that's not gonna happen because Mark Hunt's gonna knock his block right off, hopefully.
Yeah.
But
I really think so.
I mean, Stipe, like I watched both of them that night. I watched them both. I ordered them both. Well,
Have you
Paramount-
met-
Must be nice, Moneybags.
Have you met Mark Hunt?
I have not.
I was in Vegas for King of the Cage, and I ran into Ray Seffo at the mall, at that one mall,
The one mall.
Yeah, I forget the
Caesars?
The mall one.
the one that's across from the Boot Barn or whatever
That
it's
one.
called.
The outlet?
The outlet. That's what was the word I was looking for. There you go. See,
Fabi-
that's why we have you here, because you
Fabi.
know those things.
He was at the subway at the outlets.
So,
Then he went to Norgate Market.
hey, and now Ray Seffo with World Series of Fighting, no problem. Hey, Fabi, you need credentials? Want get in here, dude? I want to get this out as much as possible. Really cool. And I said, hey, what's up, man? We just had finished one of the World Series of Fights. He says, oh yeah, I brought Mark, and his wife wanted to do some shopping. So to see him carrying bags of shopping and stuff like that was just hilarious. But nicest guy. I mean, had no idea who I was, but he was totally nice and everything.
Probably
like
knew
that.
from the Tap Out Locos days
Really
or something.
cool, really cool guy. So
You're a
whatever. So
recognizable face.
yeah, that's true. I got a face
With
for,
a long history
we
in
have
the
a-
game.
We have a face for radio. That's
Well,
how
you did, but now you stepped it
But
up
anyways,
here.
I like Mark Hunt, man. I hope he does. I hope he does do some damage or whatever.
He's a great
And
fighter to watch. Come
with
on.
with the way the heavyweight division is
Yeah.
now, it's his chance, man. I mean, heavyweight division sucks.
Verdum, of course. That's
you
another
think-
guy.
you
Verdum
think-
is another guy.
Yeah.
But you think Cormier is going to
He's
finally
been active, too.
realize that he needs to move up to heavyweight and fight a heavyweight and get 2 titles?
Nah, because he's not going to. Because Kane's.
Cain Velasquez, a
Is-
madre weight. Okay, if he waits for that, he's never going to do it. Let's just go.
That's true.
Now, do you guys believe in that? Fighting your teammate or whatever?
No,
I don't.
would
You will never fight a teammate.
I would never fight.
You.
him.
What about you?
Probably not.
What about yourself?
Nah.
I don't think it's right.
I will fight a teammate in a heartbeat.
There's multiple reasons because, like,
You're training
how am I
partners, man.
supposed to fight my teammate without my camp?
That too.
Where's Miguel? Where's John? Where's
They do it on the Ultimate Fighter all the time.
yeah? I don't
That's-
know
Same
what-
that's
But
just-
they're not. Yeah, but let's face
That's
it.
not a real
It's
team.
not their real team, though. You know what
yeah,
I'm
it's
saying?
not the guys that I've been
Those aren't the dudes you came up with.
7 years.
That's
6
like
years.
making the All Stars, right? And then you go to All Stars game and you got bunched up with a bunch of guys that got thrown on the All Stars. They're not your real team.
Yeah, and then
It's
who's
guys from every team.
who's Dalo gonna corner?
That's a good
Nobody.
point. That's a good point.
That's why I think it's kind of dumb when what's his face Jackson was like, "Oh, well, I'm just gonna step away from this." Fuck you. You know what
Quincy
I mean?
Jackson?
Yeah.
Michael Jackson.
Okay. Well, hey, I don't know. I mean, but come on. I mean, Velasquez has been out of the loop for quite a while, dude. Because it's Cormier's chance,
I'm
man.
sorry, Greg
Because-
Jackson. That's
Because
what I was
he'll get a shot
They should.
immediately.
Yeah.
So you might as well. I mean, I think that's the fight to make. If
Kane has
if
been-
Blades knocks out Mark Hunt,
He's been unexciting, right?
But-
and been out for a long time.
Would
Come
you
on.
agree that Stipe Miocic against Daniel Cormier would be a bigger draw than Blades or Mark Hunt or one of them.
Yeah,
I think so.
Yeah, it will.
And a
Of
full
course.
Dana
It will.
White,
It
Cormier, not a skinny Danny
What?
Cormier.
Dana White. See, that's why we're here, man. We make the matches for you.
They know.
Right, because Cormier was dropping people on his head. Barnett. He
That's
underlooked
how he
that
brings
dude.
them to his size. He
That's
drops
what
them
I'm
on their head.
saying,
That's
man.
what you do.
So if he fights at heavyweight and is in shape, he can give Miocic a run for his money.
Yeah, I think so.
As annoying as he is, he can give him a run for his money.
DC is extremely fast.
Yeah. And again, wrestling background, man. It's that grind.
I think that's what Ozdemir ran into. I don't think Ozdemir realized how fast DC was going to be at his size.
Right.
Because DC was chilling.
Now, did he have trouble making weight again?
No.
Because I was watching him live, and he took a full 40 minutes to get on that scale.
He went into
as
full
much
renal
time as
failure
possible.
in the past.
Yeah. So
That's not.
Can you imagine if that dude moved to heavyweight and didn't have to worry about that?
Yeah, he may need to.
Daniel, what are you doing, man? Get up there. Let's go. That's the fight. If you're considering retirement, which he talked about, take that Miocic fight, retire as the both two-time champion in 2 different weight divisions, and there you go.
Yeah.
Right off into the sunset.
Yeah.
Call me, dude.
We need to go to San
talk.
Jose, apparently. You
Yeah,
need to
we'll-
talk some sense into some people.
We'll talk about it for
But-
sure. Well, you know what? I
My
have
twin brother, Javier Mendez.
I have his number. We'll call him. We'll get him on the line, and we'll talk to him about that. See what he thinks from that. Okay, Javier. So we'll go from there. Anyways, at least it makes it interesting.
Yes,
You know what I mean? Mix it
yes.
up or
We're coming
whatever.
up on the clock here, but
I
let's
know.
talk about some events coming up.
Okay, real quick before we go, Julio Arce and Dan Ige, the Hawaiian. Did you see that fight, Robert? Talking to you, bro.
How did you
Knock-
miss the Hawaiian fight?
Knockdown,
Because I was
drag
watching
out
both of
fight, dude. That was definitely.
You are
for me,
turning your
fight of
back
the
to
night.
your countrymen.
Yes.
He was watching his Hawaiian kids at home.
Make sure next time you need to check that out, bro, because that was a good fight. So anyway, get out of here because we're running up against the clock. All of us got something to do because I don't know about you, but I got to go to work tomorrow. What about yourself?
I have some work to do tomorrow, absolutely.
That's what I'm talking about. So we got to
calling
get
my
out of here.
name.
But a huge thanks for
Matt Brown and
Matt Brown to come
Matt
on.
the Immortal Brown.
Absolutely look forward to him fighting against Carlos
and again,
Conte.
thanks to James Rodriguez for hooking that up.
a million thank yous, bro.
James
I'm sorry.
Dominguez.
That really helps us out or whatever. What do we got? Their Gladiator Challenge.
We got Celtic Gladiator. It's coming up in Chicago at the Copernicus Center on the 27th. It's huge. It's a huge Polish lineup. The Polish community's coming out in Chicago. Albert Jarzebak and Tony T-Bone Steaks.
Dude, if we went out to
Padilla.
Chicago, if it was, it
We
was
can
like
go out there. They invited us.
64 degrees out here, and I was freezing.
It's
I
22
couldn't even
degrees there
imagine
on
going
a
out
hot
to
bitch
day.
when it
Chicago.
comes
Me
to
too, man.
cold,
Well, we're
dude.
Mexican. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
We're used
you're
to
gonna
we're
get
used
a
to the sun or whatever.
you're gonna
that's
get some
right,
shrinkage
dude.
there,
Make sure-
but look at the bouts.
Make
Throw
sure
me
you
in the
Look how
Sonora Desert and I'll
professional the
survive.
promotion stuff that goes out. I mean, this looks like Gladiator stuff. They truly stepped it up, and I can't say enough good things about this promotion. It'll be back here in LA soon enough. But
so that's this Saturday,
this is
January
this Saturday.
27th.
Yep.
So make sure you check that out. What's the website then go to, Robert? Go to CelticGladiator.com. Make sure you check that out. Hey, man, the promotion's making strides to get out there, so support them. Make sure you get that out there. Anything else, Robert, before we get out of here? Good to go?
we're good to go.
All right. Hey, man, a million thank yous for everybody checking us out. And again, Matt Brown, to get him on
right.
here, especially, hey, he's so much in demand. We look forward to next week. We made a few calls. We got a lot of things coming up. Kenny Johnson invited us to Black House to go do some gym crashers. We talked to George Guimarães. He's like, dude, I got to go with Lyoto. I'll be back. We'll definitely come in studio so we could do that. So go ahead.
Just at the end of the show, we let everybody know we're going to play a little bit of punchline. So when we shut down, I'm going to throw some punchline up for everybody.
Punchline's coming at
So
you.
stay tuned for some punchline because we appreciate them helping us out.
That's
we'll
right.
see everybody next Monday right here, 8 p.m. till 9 o'clock Pacific Standard Time. Make sure you check that out. See everybody next week.
And a happy birthday to Tony Padilla. Spar Stars, thank you again.
I'm talking about.
That's right.
But yeah, man, like so.
Oh,
They
gonna
got
go. Oh,
Oh yeah, it's coming. It's just really big. Holy shit, that's a big ass image. Shrink it down. Non-stash is getting triggered. No one's getting triggered. A guy with the name McGroin is saying we're being
He's named after a cock.
Thanks, Josh.
Yeah, I like that stash. It took a while.
I work hard on it.
Yep. Did you get the couch? The couch made it in there, guys. What fights you want to see made next year? Basically, I don't know. What do you want to see?
Oh man, there's a lot of them.
Mikey versus anybody?
Yeah, I like to see Mikey versus top guys. I like to see Spence Crawford or Spence, which if Crawford moves up, I like to see Spence Thurman.
Yeah.
I like to see a lot of fights, mainly at welterweight. If I got 2 fights at welterweight next year, I'd be happy for the year. Truly.
Hey, Josh.
Oh no, I want to see Canelo McGregor.
Look at Josh. He said you look a lot skinnier and I get it. Well, fuck off. Josh saying you look a lot skinnier than that. Yep, that's a couch for sale, guys. It's only been used a few hundred times.
Where'd you get that couch at?
Fresh semen stains.
We should turn it off and get a black light. Well, you gotta be white, don't it?
Awesome.
No, it'll show up better.
Thanks for the car. I appreciate it, bro.
Yeah, semen on a black light, that would show no matter what color that damn couch.
Dude, I wonder where that couch is at right now, for real. That real casting couch, I wonder whatever happened to it.
We should purchase it and put it somewhere in the house. Just put it anywhere. Put it in here.
I would never put that fucking couch anywhere near this place.
What?
Can you imagine how much AIDS and fucking shit is on that couch?
Dude,
Spray it down.
Is anaerobic, man.
What is?
It's anaerobic. As soon as it touches the air, it dies.
Dude, I don't believe that shit. That couch has been through hell. You know what I mean?
I thought it goes like 8 hours or something.
How many whores have been on that fucking couch?
It's instant.
Dude, that's a lot of whores on that couch, man. This Iftikhar guy, man, this guy knows his boxing. He's a good dude, man. I like him. He wants us to come to the fight.
That was cool.
Yeah. He knows his boxing. That's awesome. Loma versus Rigo. I got Loma.
I got Loma.
He's a bigger man.
I think it's going to be a very tactical fight, but I think because of the style.
John said he reported this page for false advertising and racist humor.
Who did?
This John. So what?
Well, we're an adult page, so.
Who is this guy? Dude, put this name down.
Josh Pinter.
Yeah.
Or John
Spinkter.
John Spence. Yeah, put it in your phone real quick so we have it for later.
Yeah. You know what?
Oh, I'm going to have fun with it after.
Oh, yeah. Racist humor. Last name's Dominguez.
Fucking idiots.
He is a Hispanic dip fuck.
He's a snowflake.
Will couch fit in a Civic? Hell yeah, it will. But I wouldn't want what's going to leave behind. Alicia's looking right into it right now. Oh, you fucked yourself, dude. You fucked yourself.
Probably a fake account because he's a fucking wuss.
Oh, no, if it's not, we're going to have his social security number, his credit report, everything's going on tonight.
He'll be alright, Dave.
He's a snowflake.
No, what do we got? Our producer is part of Anonymous. You fucked up.
Yeah.
At this point.
He's the one who got connections.
At this point.
He can find out everybody's background check.
It's at this point Spinkter knew he fucked up.
He did.
When your producer's part of Anonymous. Dude, I actually had a friend that was part of Anonymous, and he was legit like, dude, he broke into the Alaska DMV just to show me he could do it. Like, totally got in their system. I was like, oh my god. I said, what's in Alaska? Nothing. And he goes, I just wanted to get in there and show you I can get in Alaska DMV.
Yeah, I can't do anything bad anymore. I had to run in with the government a few years back.
Did you?
I was trying.
Ishgar sound real good bloke. I agree, Chris. And you're a good guy too, bro. Yeah, you Mexican ladies would like that social security number.
Yeah.
Yep. You Mexican ladies would like that social security number, yeah. Your mom didn't mind.
Yeah.
Thank your mom for the green card.
Yeah. See. Like the
neither does his wife. She don't care about it either.
His wife gets around like a Greyhound bus on Christmas Eve. For the love of God, don't check my internet history.
got all the good porn.
Oh, you do
See
got the porn.
4chan. Oh, see you on 4chan Reptile Squad soon. Sphincter saying something crazy. Has anyone seen my kitten mittens? Yeah, it's on Sphincter's mom. What's up, Virgil? Hey, Virgil.